It's a lazy Monday afternoon, and I'm passing time watching Instagram stories when suddenly my pal Shell pops up and gives me the tantalizing option of asking their CEO anything.
Anything?
Yes, anything. So I do what any sane climate communicator does. I send them mean messages and feel joy in my soul for furthering the movement. But then the joy fades, and I'm left with uncertainty. I ask myself, wait, how responsible is Shell for our climate crisis? And how angry should we really be at a company? Hi friends, my name is Sarah and I talk about sustainability here. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to stick around. Today, let's go drilling for answers about Shell. Whoa, you can't just talk about these questions without first starting about the environmental justice atrocities that Shell has committed. It's clear that their human rights abuses cancel them as a company and that they should just be shut down now. Don't worry, I was going to start there. First, countless oil spills have occurred since Shell's inception and have impacted communities across the world. Second, working in an oil rig is a dangerous job. As recently as July 1st, 2019, 2 workers were killed at a deep water rig in the Gulf of Mexico. And third, Nigeria. In the 90s, activists from the Ogoni region in Nigeria started a peaceful movement to expel Shell from their country, as routine oil spills were harming their community. Amnesty International says that we have to hold Shell accountable for their collusion with the Nigerian government, who went on to kill Ogoni people and held a trial that executed 9 resistance members, including the husband of Esther Kiobel. Esther is now taking Shell to Dutch court in hopes of clearing her husband's name and bringing these human rights abuses to justice. Shell refutes all of these claims. Yeah, that's obviously awful and unacceptable behavior, but you and I use fossil fuels. Doesn't that mean that every time we buy something made of fossil fuels that we're saying, yes, please make more of this as we're voting with our dollar? Shouldn't we share the blame of the environmental justice issues and the climate crisis impact that Shell's created? Let's start with some basics. First, 71% of global greenhouse gas emissions can be traced to 100 producers, with Shell clocking in at number 9 with responsibility for 1.7% of greenhouse gases. But this number is not just from the production of fossil fuels, it also includes the products that fossil fuels are used or made of. For example, a plastic cup is made from oil. So this report takes that plastic cup and traces the products that it was made from, oil, back to Shell. Currently, courts are really still trying to decide who is to blame, but a lot of reporters say that it's 3-pronged, not divided equally, of course. So we have the consumers, we have the producers, and we have government. Here's a quote by one of the authors of the 71% 100 Company report. What the companies do is produce the fuels, extract and market the fuels so that we can use them. It's the consumers that produce the carbon dioxide. They may be corporations, airlines, shipping lines, households, utilities. It's all distributed. I like this quote because it categorizes companies like Target or Walmart as consumers and not just saying that it's people like you and me. But I still wonder about the equity issue and blaming people when obviously some people, like poor folks, don't have consumer choice in a lot of these options. And those people are going to be the people and are the people who are impacted most from climate change. Okay, so even if Shell has been a huge player of our climate crisis, they didn't know. None of us knew that fossil fuels were going to be this bad. A recent UN report said that our crisis is changing perhaps too fast for life to adapt without severe dislocation, and that action now is seen as the only safe insurance. They're really worried about who would take care of climate refugees. Actually, I lied. All those quotes were from Shell's latest press release. JK, I lied again. All those quotes were from Shell's documentary Climate of Concern from 28 years ago. To say that Shell didn't know is horseshit. Shell knew. Even after all that, let's look to the present. Shell has changed. It's 1, admitting climate change exists, 2, promises to have carbon emissions by 2050, 3, has star-studded support, including Damon and Joe, and 4, has quit controversial lobbying groups. These all look like wins to me. Well, not so fast. Shell does admit that we're in a climate crisis, but their plan to halve emissions by 2050? Well, it focuses a lot on liquefied natural gas, LNG, which they say is a clean alternative, but most experts say, yes, it's marginally cleaner, but it's not clean or renewable. Also, as their legal disclaimer states, we have no immediate plans to move to a net zero emissions portfolio over our investment horizon of 10 to 20 years. Also, celebrity and fancy marketing tactics really mean nothing if there's no policies behind them, and you can believe me because I'm a very credible marketing major. According to the 2018 Climate Accountability Scorecard, however, Shell does rank best among fossil fuel companies for the best direct climate communications. Also, yes, Shell did quit a controversial lobbying group, ALEC, because ALEC does not support the Paris Agreement, but Shell is still a leadership member of API, NAM, and US Chamber of Commerce. Do intentions matter if Shell is moving toward a more sustainable future? I'll leave you with a quote from the Integrated Gas and New Energies Division Director when talking about how Shell is really becoming an energy company and not just a fossil fuel producer. This is not a corporate responsibility project, it's a legitimate business. Now, I won't sit here and tell you that this is controlling capitalist bullshit. All this is great talk, and I think it's really good discussions to be having.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. But we have 11 years to get this climate crisis under control, and I don't see a way to do that without Shell. They're investing big bucks into renewable energy, and who would fill the void if we dismantle the company that provides 3% of the world's energy? The UCS report I quoted earlier makes it very clear that fossil fuel companies do have a role to play in solving our climate crisis. And what do they have to do? They have to first denounce climate misinformation, 2, pay their fair share of climate-related damages, and 3, develop carbon-free energy sources. But I think we all know on a gut level that the systems that created this mess can't be responsible for solving it. Yes, Shell plans to invest a hot $1 billion into renewables, but this is out of an investment budget of $25 to $30 billion. With a B, billion. Look, I don't have an answer about how angry we should really be at Shell, but I do know that sending mean Instagram messages is not a solution. Instead, if you're in the US, you should try to contact your legislators about carbon tax pricing, like the one proposed to Congress, H.R. 763, supported by the Citizens Climate Lobby. I'll leave a link down below so you can spend 5 minutes of your time contacting your House representative and telling them to support this initiative. I've already messaged mine, Tom, but as we know, Tom doesn't respond to me or accept climate science, so might be a lost cause there. Another action you can take is putting your support behind candidates or elected officials who are really pledging not to take money from fossil fuel companies who spent $125 million in 2018 on lobbying. Don't we love our democracy? For the people. And if financially viable, try to avoid buying new things made of plastic because we know plastic is from oil. But I know this is really hard, and it is Plastic Free July, so maybe you'll get some inspiration from that. But really trying to buy things secondhand, even if it's still made from plastic, is such a better way than buying something firsthand that contributes to that demand. Whatever you can do, do the best that you can in your situation, and I believe in you. That's it for today, friends. I know this video was a little bit more serious than the ones I've made before on this channel, so if you want to see these new videos going in a new direction on this channel, make sure to subscribe and support that. And also, if you want to learn more about the human rights abuses in Nigeria, I really recommend a couple documentaries that I've linked in the description. So stay curious, and I will see you next time, friends. Bye-bye.